The headlines. The evidence is compelling, say scientists. COVID-19 did start in an animal market in China's Wuhan province.
Scientists say there is compelling evidence that Wuhan's seafood and wildlife market was indeed at the centre of the COVID-19 outbreak. 2 studies show that the earliest known cases were clustered around that market and used genetic information to track the timing of the outbreak. It suggests that there were 2 variants introduced into humans in November or early December of 2019.
Teetering on the brink of a world recession, the stark warning from the International Monetary Fund. Russia says it will withdraw from the International Space Station and build its own, ending decades of cooperation with the US and other countries. And England thrashed Sweden 4-0 in the Women's Euros semi-final. Next up, the final, and the chance to win their first ever major tournament. The White House says China has only escalated tensions by its sharp rhetoric against a proposed visit to Taiwan by the Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi. Beijing said on Monday it had issued forceful warnings to the Biden administration over the plans. The sharp diplomatic exchange comes as President Biden prepares to speak by phone with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping in the coming days. Police in the Democratic Republic of Congo say at least 15 people, including 3 peacekeepers, have been killed during demonstrations against the United Nations in the eastern city of Butembo. The demonstrators are demanding the departure of the country's UN peacekeeping mission, which they say has failed to restore peace. Japan has executed the man who killed 7 people during an attack in Tokyo in 2008. Tomohiro Kato drove a truck into pedestrians before stabbing a number of others. He was charged 8 years ago and is the first person to be executed this year in Japan, one of the few developed countries which still use the death penalty. In the UK, the latest TV debate between the 2 candidates that want to be Prime Minister, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, was cancelled after the presenter fainted on air. The Sun and Talk TV debate, hosted by journalist Kate McCann, was abruptly halted around halfway through after a loud crash was heard. Talk TV said Ms. McCann was fine, but the channel had been given medical advice not to continue. On Twitter, both candidates extended their sympathies to the host. The debate had covered tax, the state of the NHS, and the rising cost of living. Well, let's turn to Australia now, where the issue of diversity in politics is back in the spotlight as the new federal parliament met for the first time this week since May's election. Now, this parliament is arguably the most racially and culturally diverse in Australia's history, with a record number of female and non-white MPs. But many diversity advocates say it still doesn't come close to reflecting the makeup of the population.
The Electoral Commission in Tunisia says initial results from Monday's referendum show that almost 95% voted in favour of constitutional changes which grant more power to President Kais Saied. Official turnout was very low, though, given by the Commission as 28%. Opposition parties had boycotted a ballot that they said would return Tunisia to autocracy.